You know, you don't have to go out to have a barbecue cooked to perfection. Today's chef is going to show you how to make the best Carolina barbecue right in our own kitchens.
That's right. Welcome Chef Ross Purple with a recipe for barbecue pulled pork with Blackberry Slaw. My goodness, I cannot wait for this. How you doing today, Chef?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for having me in. I love being here. And I wouldn't go as far as to say that it'd be the best barbecue at home, but it certainly can hold its own. So I think a lot of us, when we think about a recipe or we want to make something at home, home cooks can get really deterred, even just by the list of the ingredients.
Yeah.
And then take it a step further, like what am I going to cook it with? How am I going to chop it up? So I don't have a green egg. Do you guys have green eggs?
No.
It's nice to have a green egg. I get to cook on a lot of green eggs for my clients, but I got a crock pot, so I can still do a whole pulled pork.
What's a green egg?
It's one of these great old school Japanese style
big
ovens.
ceramic.
Yeah,
okay.
you fire it with wood chips and chunks and charcoal, and it's been around for thousands of years.
Oh,
and
wow,
it's just
okay.
made out of clay. So yeah, go check them out. They're really, really cool. You can do a lot with them. So for this, what we'll do is we'll get some onions in the bottom.
So we can just go crock pot it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and you know, if you don't want to have to worry about making a mess, they got these great bags. Throw it in there. You don't even have to clean the thing afterwards.
Those are amazing.
Right? So
What
some
else did you put in
garlic
there? We said
and onions. Yep.
garlic, onions.
Sometimes I'll put a little bit of broth, but I'm using a bone-in shoulder today. I won't need the broth.
Okay.
So
but
what
if
I've
we're
got-
not doing bone-in, we probably
Yeah, you
should
could
do a
put
broth.
a couple, tablespoons or a quarter of a cup.
Okay.
I've got chili powder, I've got cumin, I've got some garlic and onion seasoning, a little bit of salt, a little bit of cinnamon, and I also use a little bit of 5 spice every now and then. So that's a really good tip that I can give you to bring something that's just gonna stand out a little bit, and people will say to me like, what is in this? And I'm like, don't tell anybody, but it's 5 spice. Because you just wouldn't think
I've
sometimes.
never even heard of 5 spice.
Yeah, so it's Chinese 5 spice, it's often referred to as. So basically what I'll do with this rub, and you can do this up to 12 hours, 24 hours ahead. As long as you don't put a ton of salt in there, the salt will draw the moisture out of the meat. Yep. So this is a Boston butt. Sometimes it's referred to as a picnic shoulder. And basically, this one's still got the bone. We'll rub it all down. We'll get this in the crock pot.
You notice how Chef Purple does the rub with purple gloves.
Gloves. All right, Chef.
So we'll get all that in there. Don't be afraid to just sprinkle it all on there.
Okay.
Yep.
The excess rub can go in on top.
Absolutely, yep. And then we'll go, this one's about 4 or 5 pounds. That'll go for about 6 to 8 hours on high, 8 to 10 on low. So we're gonna do our slaw. Now, another thing, so you could buy a bag of shredded cabbage. You could just hack up some cabbage at home. I bought this thing literally 20 years ago for maybe 50 bucks. The only thing I've had to do is sharpen it, the blade, and it comes off. So it's a mandolin, and if you can find them, there's a really big website that delivers stuff right to your door, I heard, and they've got a ton of these. But
Rhymes
look for
with
one,
Amazon,
yeah,
doesn't
right.
it?
Look for one that looks legit. Like this it's in 4 different languages: German, French, English, Japanese, and it's sharp as all get up. So if you're just getting started with one, use the guard. If you're working with kids, we've got some cut-resistant gloves.
Good
But basically, I've just quartered my cabbage, and I'm just gonna run it right along.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be consistent. You could use this for radishes, cucumbers. It's got a couple of different attachments that you could make.
Now,
Waffle
Chef,
fries.
You talked about how everybody doesn't have all the equipment. If we don't
Sure.
have the mandolin,
Yeah, definitely.
we can still buy the bag of shredded cabbage.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's I think what I'm getting at. So tarragon is also in this slaw. If you don't have, you can get fresh tarragon at most grocery stores locally here in Charlotte. You could grow fresh tarragon out on your porch. But see, people look at the recipe and they're like, I don't have tarragon, chef. How am I supposed to compete with chef? Just be a home cook. Let the chefs do all that fancy stuff. Let's just make some cool, real food, right?
Okay, I like that.
So easy slaw base recipe is gonna be a little vinegar. I use apple cider, a little bit of sugar. You could use Splenda, you could use the special sweetener that you guys
Thank you for
promote.
the
Yeah,
Splenda tip.
absolutely. Definitely. And then what you'll do is we'll just mix this up. Now, I made some ahead of time, and I made a batch in the food processor. And once you shred all the cabbage, you'll get it in and you'll fold it in. Now, the batch that I made ahead of time, I pureed it all in the food processor. So the blackberries are all pureed up nice, right? And it really gives it that purple color. So I do. I go for the purple every time that I can. If I can make something purple, I try to. So basically,
this is going to be the biggest slider in the history of sliders.
We were joking about, like, where did the slider come from? And I just took a guess, but I did look it up on the internet, and White Castle had the first slider back in 1921. Yeah, and they did it to sort of get the Americans to eat beef again. There was a book written, The Jungle, in 1906 that just scared the bejesus out of people revolving around how meat was processed. So these two guys got together, White Castle, started making sliders, and now I think it's something that you can put anything in between a bun, roll with it, and call it a slider, and you're in business.
This is a giant Hawaiian bun.
Yeah, so I usually use a King Hawaiian roll when I do my sliders, and I happened upon this.
Chef, we got about a minute. I'm ready to get down.
Yeah, so we'll go right in here. I got the miracle of TV, right?
That's what I'm talking
got my
about.
pulled pork ahead of time. Like I said, it takes about 8 to 10 hours. I'm gonna go right there.
And we have this recipe on our website,
Absolutely,
WCNC.
yeah.
And how can people find you, Chef Purple?
ChefPurple.com. I do a lot of, I work with a lot of home cooks, and a couple of my buddies were sort of joking. They're like, you're teaching all of your target audience, you know, the clients that you want to hire you, you're teaching them how to cook. What are you doing? You're killing yourself.
You're cooking yourself out of a job.
I just want people to make some real food. So I get together with people. I do beer pairing dinners. We get together around the green egg. We have fun, we joke, and we just make some really, really good food. So basically,
you know Eugene is going to eat this all by himself.
Absolutely.
He's going to eat this like a burger.
I can eat that like a burger. I can do it. Yeah, you're right.
So we'll do some toothpicks in there. And I think this is just a spur of the moment, fun way that I could pull this together, right?
Yeah.
ChefPurple.com is how you find him. And,
Yep.
oh, I'm sorry, ChefPurpleCharlotte.com.
Thank you, Chef. We appreciate you.
ChefPurple.com will work, absolutely, yep.
Thank you, Chef. Well, I'm going to knock that out. Well, coming up on